Hey, it's Tuesday. Means one thing. It's WWPN. We want to thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah, we've got some great guests today. We have Kimber and Annie. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good. And they are part of a team that does paranormal investigating. So go ahead and tell us your team name and what you do. And we'll just start off with that.
Well, we're called Ghost Discovery DRIU, which is short for Detection Response Investigation Unit.
I like that.
I kind of like the name because it kind of sounds like, CSIU or something like that. So I kind of went with that because I liked it. It kind of self-explanatory. We get detections, we get responses, and we investigate as a unit. We are kind of new together. I've been doing it for a little while myself, just out of things that have happened in my life, and started getting into the modern technology. But I've been building the team and adding to the team, and found Hazel. She goes by Hazel and Annie. So
yeah,
so
Hazel Annie.
So I call her Hazel Annie sometimes. So
Same thing.
Yeah.
But we actually met on Twitter and started talking. Found out she was in Salt Lake. I'm from up in Heber now. I used to live in West Jordan. Left a very possessed house in West Jordan, and so I'm up in Heber now. And I'm with another team member, Suzanne Tanner. That's who I'm living with, and we're engaged. And her husband Danny has joined. So we kind of got like a couples team
like
going
a unit,
here.
a family
Yeah,
unit.
yeah.
Unity.
I like it. Most teams look for the possessed house, and you moved out of yours.
And I moved out. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
So if you want to go there, I can take you there before it gets too late.
It was like Yu-Gi-Oh said, it's all fun and games until it's you.
Yeah.
That's
We
so
all are
true.
like, yeah.
Yeah. What, you left? It's easy evidence. No.
And that's the other thing that really got me interested in it, because my kids saw things, I heard things, I saw things. People started acting different. I started acting different.
Wow.
We was just talking about our back injuries, and she can probably understand what I went through. I got addicted to
That's a whole
medication.
nother segment.
Yeah.
They come later.
I don't hide nothing. I got addicted to pain medication, but I think the entity in my house. Actually, I don't think. I know the entity in my house has something to do with it, because I did not act like myself. My ex-wife didn't act like herself. She was always a kind person, but she turned very angry, very ornery all the time, and my children started acting different. And once I got out of that house, I was fine. I mean, nothing
Just
at all.
night and day difference. Huh?
Yeah.
So when you left the house, was it like an instant change, or did you actually have to move from the house?
I had to get away from the house. It took a little bit of time. But when I go there now, feeling what I felt before, I go in there now and I'll get instant cold chills.
So you go back?
Yeah, I still have had some stuff in there. I still own it.
Okay.
But I've moved most of my stuff out of there.
Oh, okay.
So I won't tell anybody where it's at, so it don't get raided.
Yeah.
Have you had any other houses, like anybody else, investigate that house?
No, just me and my equipment. Suzanne had some instances in that house that happened to her also, and I was still living there, and she came down and stayed over. Some things happened that made her not want to stay there anymore.
Yeah.
Don't say I blame her.
Yeah. Well, especially if you're alone.
Yeah, I know. If you get into a relationship, make sure you ask, is your house possessed? I mean, it's just common questions. You have to ask them.
The checklist.
Well, I was going to keep it and rent it or sell it myself, but I decided just to let it go. So I'm going to let people know all about it. Say, hey, you're buying a cheap house, but it's haunted as heck. So
Well, you never know if people come back on you nowadays. Be like, you didn't tell me.
yeah, I
It's
should
like,
disclose
asbestos
everything.
in the ceiling, right?
Well, and there's a few places. I've seen some realtor signs that show
Yeah.
house
That
for
is-
sale.
Haunted.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Really? That's awesome.
Some
Yeah.
attraction to it.
That's a new
There's one
selling
right here,
point in
too.
this day and age, because people are getting so
It's
interested in the
true.
paranormal.
It's true, and it's like, when you live in it, it's totally different than
Yeah.
investigating it.
It's a big difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big time.
Yeah, we've had instances where we're texting each other in the middle of the night going, guess
Do
what just
you
happened?
know what just happened? Now what?
Yep.
So with that, I'll
Yeah.
introduce Hazel. She
Yeah.
can talk about herself a little bit.
Yeah, so you came here, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
And where did you come from?
From England,
From
from
England.
Lincolnshire,
Yeah.
which
yeah,
is
yeah.
like up north way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, Hazel Annie, we're just going
Yeah.
to call you Hazel Annie.
I thought I had a ring to it myself too.
Little
You
Hazel
know?
Annie.
Little Hazel Annie.
Hazel
That'll
Annie.
stop the confusion.
We'll just Hazel Annie it. Well, that's what you
Yeah.
want. Hazel Annie. So she has a gift. I tried to call her psychic, and she said, I'm not psychic. I'm just me. I've had it my whole life, so this is just me. That's who I am. And so tell us a little bit about that. You grew up seeing spirits your whole life, pretty much.
Yeah, it's gone down generations in my mum's side of the family through the female side, and it just passed on to me, and it was just a normal part of my life. Like, I mean, I'd cry myself to sleep at night, and I'd have someone with me just stroking my head, and I'd be fine, and I felt safe and protected, and it's just been with me my whole life.
They've all been left-handed too. All the ones that get- They've been left-handed, is what she says.
Yeah.
I thought you were making a joke. I'm
No!
like, oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
But she's serious. They were all
Serious, they were all
All
left-handed.
left-handed. So, like, when you were 3, did you think it was normal to have somebody's grandparent follow them around and ask for questions or say, "Hey, you can see me," or was
I
it?
didn't
How did that
talk
work?
about it or anything. It was
Just there.
yeah. I don't know whether an abuse thing comes with it, but I mean, I had a really abusive childhood, so I mean, it was just there, and it just looked after me, I guess. I mean, and it's just been with me my whole life, and it's just kind of developed.
Did you share it during your childhood with anybody?
Not until I got to about 10, 11, I started telling my gran, and that's when my gran told me that she knew I was the one in this generation. From the day I was born, she knew. And then she started telling me a little bit about stuff, and I got older and older, and then she told me a bit more about the family. Like, some of them were just mediums, some of them are healers, and just do different.
So it's the whole spectrum. It's not just psychic. It's the whole A to Z. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And your gran was the one that was in her generation, so then she could kind of tell.
It was some of my grand sisters, my grand's mum, and some of my grand's mum's family, and then it just goes back and back from then. So
how do you use that to investigate? Do you just kind of find a hot spot and say, this is where somebody is, let's try and talk to them?
This is the first time I've really investigated, and it's always been like a passion of mine. I just want to help people, and I hear and see things, and people want help, and it's just so normal to me. It's just like spirit world, it's like human beings, they're just the same.
Yeah. Well, we say that too. It's just people walking around without bodies.
Yeah. And there's so many different levels. So, some are just stuck here, some want to be here, some are just so traumatized by things, they're trying to find out the right answers. So, I just want to help them with that.
So is it your plan you just said help them with that, but is that your plan to move them forward if there's a place for them to go?
If I can, and if it's allowed, because, with my beliefs, some of them are supposed to be here right now, and some of them, there's so many differences with like spirits and ghosts and stuff. So
that's why I kind of think of our team as a little bit different, because we try to do both. We want to investigate, we want to comfort the people. Number one is to help people first, and inform them about the paranormal, let them know what's going on, find out. Number two, if it's harmful, if it's evil, if it's a family member is trying to reach him, whatever. And then to help the spirit and help them move on. We've gotten recordings. We've asked before in people's homes, are you stuck here? Are you trapped here? Do you need help? And it's just, yes, we need help. Oh. So you get full answers like that. It's kind of hard, not to...
You can't not help.
Yeah, you do. You really do. And you got to just let them know it's okay. Trying to let them, know that everybody here is going to be all right. You're going to see them again. If you're here because you don't want to leave them, it's all right, because they're going to be with you soon. And, and of course we all know that time in their realm is totally different than in ours, so it's going to be a bat of an eye basically to them, whether it's 30 years on our side. So.
And you can't pass judgment on spirits either, because there's a whole different plan, and you just can't pass judgment on what they may have done in their life.
I agree.
So you've got to go into it. You can't be hostile or evil or horrible. You just got to be loving.
But if they want to stay, they're going to stay, too.
And when they ask for help, you've got to find out what kind of help, because it might not be passing on to the other side or, a different realm. It could just be they need some questions answered and... why they here kind of thing. Yeah. So you just don't know.
So what was your plan for her then, Kimber? What was, like, you're sitting there one night, you're talking on Twitter, you find a medium, and you go, I need to add that to my team. Because
I didn't even know she was a medium yet.
I don't think I'm a medium.
Well, okay, I'm not...
Okay, small.
Okay, we'll just start. So what was your intent with Hazel Annie?
Okay, she's not going to be labeled here tonight, so... with her gift, I don't know, I just felt it.
Yeah.
Not to sound weird or nothing, but
that's for you, Dave.
when I saw her picture, read a little her bio, whatever, I felt like I knew her already, or from the past. And then she said the same thing to me when she talked to me when we talked on the phone, and I was like, oh, I had those same thoughts. And you know, it's just like we were friends or something back then. We knew each other, so there was an instant connection. Really, I mean, we haven't been together as a team that long, and you know, I'm already watching her going down through the halls and thinking, oh, this is going to be so great, you know, getting this on film, because I think she'll be good on film. I do have goals in mind where I want to take this to. You know, I don't want to just let a few people know about the paranormal. I want to do a real program. Not the fake ones, not the ones that say, oh, we caught this voice, and they don't let you hear the evidence. You know, we want to record the evidence with the client or whoever it's affecting, and let them listen to it, let them hear what we hear, and then show and help the spirits move on. I think that's something totally different, but there's so many fake programs out there right now that are all over the place, and I just look at those and I kind of laugh. There's one or two legit ones. I think they really get the point across and get real evidence on TV, and I think that's what we need to do is stop going out for, you know, our own success, number one, just to get something out there, but to get something quality out there that's going to benefit somebody just by watching it.
For sure.
It's like a part of your blood. And I just add, it's like, you know, the spiritual side of things. It's like, I think you're just kind of born into it, and once it's inside you, you just can't get it out.
It's that good balance that everybody looks for.
It's like a passion.
That's exactly how possession sounds too, people. All right, so I want to say we've got some new viewers in, so we want to introduce these guys one more time.
Yeah. So Kimber. And Hazelyn. From, what was it again?
Ghost Discovery. DRIU.
That's what it is. It throws us off, the DIRU.
It makes me want to say Ghost Discovery Drew. So
yeah,
I have to consciously go, it's not Drew.
And you know, I didn't even think that was the name Drew until I looked something up and there was DRIU. I thought, what the heck? They're stealing my name, you know? And then I read it's like Drew so-and-so, and I had no idea you even spelled Drew that way. So I need to put it D.R.I.U.
Yeah. You know, I forgot one thing, and I just feel horrible because everybody's been watching, right? This is our 4th show, and it's been Kim and I and guests, and yeah, there's this one person here, and she's just here, and we're not going to tell you who she is.
She wants to stay anonymous.
Just kidding. This is Kathy.
I'm Kathy.
This is Kathy. So she's going to guest host with us from time to time whenever she's able to. You'll find her in the chat. It's time today.
It's time today.
You'll find her in chat as well. So if you catch up with Kathy, then you'll, kind of be an extension of Worldwide Paranormal Network. So just so you know.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We feel really lucky to be part of this too.
Well, we're
so young
excited.
in your adventure here too, and I think it's a big stepping stone for us because I want people to know that we are legit. And we kind of discussed this a little bit before. I did start this as a business. Number one, I wanted to do this full time, not as a hobby, a habit, something on the side. I want to do it all the time. And if finances come with that, that's fine. But we talked about it's kind of a thing not to charge in the paranormal.
Yeah, I was like, oh, buddy, you are in trouble.
But I've done so many free ones, and it does get expensive. The equipment gets expensive. So what I did start saying to people is, I'm not going to give you a price, but if you'd like to donate to the business, to the company, organization, that would be great. So
when he says business, I mean it's licensed. You
have
a license.
I'm licensed through the state of Utah. I have a federal ID number. And I'm getting licensed in Heber now also because I want to start a paranormal tours in Heber and Park City. There is one in Park City, but they don't use equipment. They tell you the stories. They tell you the spooky stuff. That's all fun and dandy. But if you can go on a haunted tour of a city, take your equipment with you, catch live EVPs, and let people listen to it, I think you're going to attract a lot more people to it.
Certainly. And also, I mean, a little bit about the money thing. There's a couple things, even doing it when we had done it, I could see a benefit to that. I know there's controversy, a ton of that.
Tons.
As well. And I think you're probably the first team I've heard of also that has charged. But, we did a lot of home investigations as well. That
out of state, I even said. We've gone out of state. And
so you spend a lot of time dealing with a lot of kooks. I mean, you know, it happens. You will get the people that just want the attention, and you get the people that need the help. And you know, I could see that maybe be a turning point for somebody. Most of the time, I don't know, and I don't know. This is new to us too, but I would believe in my head that the people that just want the attention aren't going to pay you for it.
Yep.
That's true.
So that would be. I got one. We got one on that side, and so I'm trying to build a little case for you guys. What I'm trying to do.
Those will be the ones not on my documentary. They will not be on the documentary.
I'm the devil's advocate here.
You will not be on TV.
You have to give them a voice too. Come on, crazy people are awesome.
Can I say something?
Yes.
No. We sorry. When your light lights up, you can talk. There's no light.
Go ahead.
I just think people who claim to be psychics don't ever pay them.
That's another thing.
I've been taught my whole life that if you're genuine, this is a gift. Some call it a gift from God, or
I'm going back on the devil's advocate side.
And do not give, because it's. People can so easily just read you, pick up body language, just tell you anything, and they will just prey upon the grieving. Just, do not give your money to anyone who's claiming to be psychic and can get in contact with your lost loved ones.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people say as well.
Do not do that, because, for me, my family never, ever, ever asked for any money at all. It just came, and they would tell them, and that was it. And I would... I just don't think you should. It's just wrong.
Yeah. Well, and that's what people say about paranormal investigating teams
Yeah.
as well. So it's kind of a flip side. Like he was saying, here we're going to play devil's advocate.
Well,
we're going to go pros and cons to all
Well, you're
this.
paying somebody for their time or their ability. Which one is it?
Yeah, and if it's going to be a full-time
At least
job.
a gas to get there, because it gets expensive.
Here's the other thing to that. Okay, so you just joined a team that charges.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Not all the time.
Well, because I get this, we have some friends that have got some stuff on network TVs as well, and they use psychics on that TV show. That psychic's getting paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody, and that's probably everybody's paranormal dream that's got a team or does anything. We want to have our own show.
Yeah.
Everybody strives for it. And to bring a psychic along with you is the added bonus. And so at that point, that psychic is making money for doing what she's doing.
Well,
is that a different feel for you? What do you? I mean, you're helping somebody on the show.
For me, it's kind of I don't know, the Kimber side is all the technical stuff. This, what I just feel, it's just being meet with me forever. So it's money for me doesn't even come into it. It's not even... I mean, because I didn't even have to be on a team to feel spirits or see ghosts. I just have to be walking around.
She's not holding a sign
So
saying, I'm a
it's
psychic, let me read your palm for $5. That's totally
Come
different.
on, I've got a place for you in the haunted house later.
It's not meant to pick on you because I've seen both and I have friends that are on both. I'm just trying to get a different view to the viewers also, and you guys can chat in on what your thoughts are for sure. That's kind of why I'm playing with this little phone right here. Is to keep an eye on that. But they, chime in on what you think. I mean, because I know that there's some controversy about this, but I know I can't blame you. I mean, there's, to be able to do what you love and get paid, there's nothing wrong with that. That becomes passion, and passion becomes greatness.
If you do what you love, you'd never work a day in your life.
Right. And you're good at what you do. So
And the thing is, too, if I was living in a house in West Jordan and my family was being ripped apart, I would have paid whatever to get that thing out of my house.
I wouldn't have charged you.
It's okay. It's okay. Where were you back then? No, but then if that wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't be in the situation I am now with Suzanne, with meeting Hazel and building this team and trying to help other people. But my other goal is to inform people about what can happen if you have an evil entity. I kind of hold back at saying demonic because I know the line of that, but I would consider that pretty dang close.
Demonic could be possession, and if you guys weren't doing what you guys normally do, we
were LDS. We were sealed in the temple. We went to church all the time, and
I wasn't.
And then when this happened with my back, things have started to happen.
It's okay, you talk. You got one in a year.
So yeah, I am frowned upon a little bit for talking to, they say, dead people, but I don't talk to dead people. I talk to their live spirits.
You do talk to dead people.
Look, if people are dead.
He sits at the cemetery and says, "Hey, you in there? Are you down there?"
Actually, I do that.
Ring this bell if you want out.
Forgive me.
But you know, if I could, but if I can help people learn about what's happening to them before it goes, you know, to destroy their family. I mean, it destroyed my relationship with my children. You know, ex-wife, that's another story. That doesn't really matter to me. But my children...
Take the ex-wife.
My children are more important to me, you know, than anything. Because they're always part of you. And if I can prevent that from happening for somebody else's family, I will.
Yeah. Well, and you guys have a unique thing that you do also. After you do the investigation, you sit down with your client, and they review the evidence with their client.
We review the evidence with the client.
That is something
And what we do is kind of like when I went to Hazel's house with her husband and showed them my equipment, we did an EVP session in their house. And we sat down in their living room and said, okay, I'm hearing something here. And they say, okay, I ask, what do you hear? They tell me what they hear. If we hear the same things, we're correct on what we hear. Mm-hmm. If we hear something different, we play it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. It don't matter. You know, I'll do an hour EVP session. I'll spend 5 hours more sitting there listening to it with the client and discussing what they're hearing. And we heard some pretty crazy stuff in her house too. I mean,
they just flocked.
She had a ton in her house. I mean, they would not shut up. Yeah, she is. She's like, come to me, you know. And they did. But,
I didn't ask
does
them
she use
to,
that voice?
I didn't ask them to. I'm just
no, it's more like, come to me here.
Yeah. Come on, darling.
Holy Spirit, come on to me.
They're just there. I don't know. I didn't ask them to.
It's like she has a different word for everything. Yes. What was grandma? Grandma is
my
just
gran. Well, I've got my great grandma.
Great auntie.
That is 100 this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And she's alive?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just checking.
I've only had one member of my family die, so
wow,
I'm lucky.
That is lucky.
Yes.
Oh my Lord, that just kills me. That's good though. I mean,
yeah, I've had 7 in the last 7 months. 11 in the last 7 months.
Yeah, don't sit by her.
Yeah.
Kimmy,
I'm safe.
She's good.
I've got this.
She got a bubble around her. Yeah.
I'm like, nothing can touch me. See, she didn't.
But that's another thing.
I can touch you.
She's gonna suck your energy.
No, I'm not a vampire.
That's me.
She's not a vampire.
But what else got me into it too is about 2 years ago when my father passed. Before he died, I always told him, I says, you know, come back to me, and I'm kind of joking around but serious. So come back to me and tell me that there is an afterlife, because I've always been, you know, you're taught to believe this, you're taught to believe this, supposed to have faith, testimony, and all that. But I was always the type of person that needed to know more.
Was he LDS as well?
He was, but not active. He wasn't active most of my life, but you know, very good man, would help anybody who needed help, and. My mom was active, though, but, you know, I told him to come to me after he died, and he had some problems very suddenly, and he died within a couple of months, and was sitting there in the hospital, and he passed. They flatlined him and pronounced him dead. We had all the family around us, and I kind of whispered quietly, I says, Dad, where are you? You know, so really nobody could hear me, but I said,
they'd be like,
Dad, where are you? And it's like, Kim, because he called me Kim. He and my grandma and my mom was the only ones I would let call me Kim. I said, my name's Kimber, you know. So he called me Kim. He says, Kim, I'm right here. So I looked at people to see if they heard anything. I said, anybody hear anything? They says, no. You know, because I've always been kind of a little different than everybody else too, because I hear things and see things at times too. And he goes, Kim, I'm right here. And I heard it twice. And after the second time, it was plain as day. It was without mistake. It was his voice. And that really got me into it. And it's like, okay, all right, I think I know what I need to do now. So I've been a contractor for 31 years, owned my own business for 18, been very successful. And then when we moved into that house, it fell apart. Mm-hmm. An 18-year business falls apart in 3 years. A lot of it was the recession and what was going on in the businesses. A lot of things weren't being subbed out to subcontractors. And, you know, the business fell apart, successful business. Marriage of 18 years fell apart. Everybody acted different. And, you know, just being since we moved into that house. Mm-hmm. Had back issues, had physical. I'd been in good shape my whole life. My back fell apart, had surgery. And it's just everything was one after another. So, you know, I think that was a lot of it was that entity in there. But that's what really got me interested. Was when my dad died and I heard his voice. I've seen my grandparents. They are my guardian angels. I know that without a doubt. I've seen them several times in troubled parts of my life. They've helped me out, and they've been there. But when I heard my dad's voice, that was totally different. So one of my biggest goals is to get my dad's voice on digital recorder. My mom has seen him several times. They moved up to Fruitland. They have 60 acres up in Fruitland.
I have family up there.
By the Tabbyone turnoff, just straight south of the turnoff there. And I was saying, she's seen him several times on special occasions. He'll come to her. He's woken her up, like on her birthdays. He's like, don't wake me up, And he wasn't the type to really celebrate birthdays and Christmas and Thanksgiving because he was a really private person. He didn't like noise because it bothered his ears. But now he's coming back to her on these holidays and saying, I'm here. And she's seen him several times. And she goes, Kim, I don't need no proof. I don't need no recordings. I don't need you to investigate my home. It's like, come on, Mom, let me, please.
Holiday.
If you know he's here, let me do it.
They're like, I'll be there on your birthday.
Yeah, and she says no. She goes, no, I don't want that because I know he is here. So she's experienced it firsthand,
Awesome. And for everybody else tuning in, we have got Kimber here and Annie.
Hazel Annie.
From Ghost Discovery.
Drew.
No. Wash them out, episode. DRIU.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's not part of the
Don't ask me to
It's the
say
part
the
of the
name.
DIRU crew.
Don't ask me.
Crazy Club.
We want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. And for those of you that are, we're going to give you 2 seconds here to jump on your Facebooks and let everybody know that we're still on. Let's get some viewers climbing here so we can break some records also.
They're breaking every week. Might as well go for
Yeah,
it.
let's
know,
run
right?
every day.
We're
And it
growing
all
big.
starts by
Higher
you
and higher.
guys. So
Yeah,
we're going to give you a couple
gosh.
seconds to go ahead and let everybody know that we're on live and to tune in and watch it because this is a great story about it's kind of a young team that's forming, but with some history behind them.
And experiences, definitely.
Yeah, live in a
Tragic
possessed
and
house.
happy.
Yeah. You can't have happiness without tragedy. You can't, and vice versa. I mean, they work hand in hand, and it was kind of like today. My truck, very reliable truck, never had engine problems ever. Broke down this morning when I knew I had to come to Tooele. So I have to take it into Ford. I had to get it fixed. Well, I met the guy that I've talked to him several times, told him what I did, and I told him, I got to get to Tooele today. You got to have it done for me, please. And I told him what my long-term goals are with Ghost Discovery DRIU. And he says, oh, wow, one of my best friends is a TV producer, movie producer up here in Heber. I go, fascinating. And I told her about it, and she says, well, that's why your truck broke down. It's because you just meant to meet him, And without bad things, good things don't happen.
Everything happens for a reason.
So you just got to look at it that way.
I need a good thing because, I had a bad thing today.
Yeah.
So I need a good thing. Good thing.
Hey, we're here. How
Where's the
much
good
better
thing?
can it get?
I'm going to say we're just, I think that, how many do we have? I want to see.
don't know.
Okay, anyways, thank you. We go up every week. Viewers, support. I mean, seriously, you guys, it's awesome.
It's a good thing.
We love it. We love it.
So-
Go on our Facebook too, interact with us, talk to us. We're there all the time. Worldwide Paranormal Network.
So tell us a little more about the team because I don't know how many members do you have?
We have 4 total right now.
4 total.
I think that's a nice number.
Yeah, we have Suzanne Tanner, and then her husband Danny, that is with us. So, we are a young team. We've all had experiences. Danny's a techie guy, computer guy.